Canines are our passion. They are our addiction. They are our way of life, right down to the very core. And without them, we would be lost. The canines of this world really are something to behold. They assist us at work. They accompany us at home. And they perform for us in the field. No matter where we go, they are by our side. Canines really are a ride or die, and for that, we are grateful. This podcast will showcase working canines of various breeds and disciplines as we search for those canines and their handlers who are always striving to be the best at what they do. Those who are always grinding. Those who are always pushing the limits. Those who are always dogging. Join us on our adventures as it is sure to be a wild ride. I'm your host, Bryce Matthews.
And I'm your co-host, Stephen Basham.
And this is Semper Dogging.
No, thank you.
Welcome back to another episode of the Semper Dogging podcast. Guys, I am your host, Bryce Matthews, and as always, we are joined by the ever so ugly Mr. Stephen Basham. Good thing this is a podcast where you can't see him, because, looking rough today, buddy.
No, I'm looking good. Got me a haircut, looking all snazzy. Look at that, Bowie.
You need a little touch of, you need some just for men.
No, that's why I keep it so short so you can't see all the gray.
I know how that is. Me too. That's
what I was going to say. If it was any better, I'd be like our guest we have on today, Mr. Layne Leverette, and I would be bald.
Mr. Layne, how are you today, brother?
Good, man. Hey, y'all.
Could not be any better. Good. The temperature's starting to cool down. Crops are coming out of the fields. It's a good time.
Sure.
Hey, it's our time of year right now.
That's right. That is right.
This time of year, yes. Now you get about 2.5 more months in, and I cannot stand winter. I hate winter.
I don't care how cold it gets. I can cool off. I mean, I can warm up, but I don't care how hot it is. I can't get cooling if I can't.
I don't like it. I'd rather hunt in July than February.
Oh, hell no.
No, me and Layne are on the same page here. We're on the same page here, guys. So
I get to walk it. I'll warm up.
That's right. That's right. Basham would quit driving that four-wheeler around everywhere. He'd get warm too, wouldn't he?
Man, hell no. It's cold. It's cold on that damn thing.
I said if you'd quit driving it around and start walking.
Yeah, but if you had dogs that went like mine, you'd ride a four-wheeler too.
Well, guys, this is going to be a really fun and interesting podcast. We're gonna dive into a little bit more here about Layne. Kind of talk a little bit about some of the success he's had, how he come up through the coonhound ranks, maybe what he does as a profession, which I find is very interesting. I had to look it up the very first time that somebody told me what Layne did for a profession. I had to look it up the videos. I didn't know what it was. So I want to talk about that a little bit. And then we're going to talk about the trip that Basham and Layne just got back from. Those two just went on a multi-day adventure together. So Layne, why don't you fill the listeners in a little bit about yourself, your background, how you got into hunting?
Man, I'm 52, and I got into hunting. I was about 15 years old. Me and some friends of mine that we grew up with as kids, we just started. Mike Wells, good friend of ours, and of course James Love. We all live right there around them, and they carried us hunting as kids, and it's just something we never stopped. It's just what we turned into. Coon hunting is kind of been a way of life for us, all through the years. That's basically how we got started. And then, I don't know if I got that thing. There it is. That's better there. I guess the first hunt I went to, I was 17 years old, ACHA hunt, and fell in love with it and been competition hunting ever since.
Yeah. What kind of dogs did you start out running? You're a walker man now, ain't you?
That's all it's ever been.
Okay.
I didn't know they made anything else.
Now back then, were you, I know whenever I was a kid, I was big into, fur. Man, I'd be 13, 14 years old, and we'd go to a meat hunt, and everybody that was too lazy to skin their coons threw their coons in the back of the truck, and I'd go home and I'd skin them. And then at the end of every season, I'd take them off, and that was my money. You know, that's man, we used to make $25, $30 a hide back then. You know, is that something you did too, or not so much?
You know, we skinned a few of them, but in our country, hides, they never was like they was, you know, up north of here. But we never did. I mean, we skinned a few out. We never did really have any buyers around. We didn't get into it. We just hunted because we loved it, you know.
Now, you're down there in Tennessee, right?
Yes, sir. I'm about 40 miles south of Nashville here in Shelbyville.
Okay, gotcha. So, you're down there in them hills. We're
down here in these hills and hollers.
Yep.
It takes a special man to coon hunt them hills and hollers.
Let me tell you, I appreciate when I go up north toward Illinois and stuff, I appreciate that hunting up there a lot, I tell you. It makes it hard back here in the hunt. Yeah. And speaking of that, we're going to talk about a hunt here in a little bit we're going to put on. Yep. And it's going to be in Tennessee hills in November, and we're going to find out what everybody's made of.
Uh-oh.
There you go. There you go. We'll talk about that towards the end.
We'll make these people stay on here and listen.
Exactly. Hey, guys, stay on here. Pay attention. There is a big announcement to be made. Mr. Layne Leverette got with me. We spent some time together, and he got with me and asked me. He said he was putting together a special hunt, and we're going to let the listeners know what that hunt is, when it's going to be, and how it's going to be ran at the end of this podcast. But Mr. Layne, talk to us about what you do now and how you got into it.
I train Tennessee walking horses, and it was kind of like coon hunting. It's my grandfather, when I was a kid, I'm talking about 6, 7 years old, always had mares, and he was friends with a lot of guys in the horse business, and I would go with him to the barns and stuff on Saturday mornings, and that's how I got started. I like coon hunting, you know. I loved it. You know, I guess everything I've ever done in my life has been something with an animal, you know. And
yep.
I started working for different places and different barns and stuff over the years, and just kind of developed as you got older. It's kind of like anything else you do. If you got anything else, I got to put this phone where I can set it down.
There you go.
Anything else, if you got anything to you and you do something long enough, you're going to learn to work for yourself and do it. So, you know, I've been running my own business since I was probably 25. We start and break coats for a living. We do the hard job. You know, we get them up broke and safe, you know, for people to ride. And we sell a good many horses, but that's basically what we do.
Now, what's the fancy prancing horses that we see on your Facebook all the time?
Come on, they ain't prancing, they're walking. Tennessee
walking. Okay.
That's we use a pad and a chain on these horses, and it animates their gait. A walking horse has naturally got a walking gait to it. It's a 4-beat gait. And that 4-beat gait, you put that pad on and use a little weight on their feet, and it makes them, a horse, unlike a lot of things, goes away from weight, you know, or like a man, like we want to get away from work, they go to it. So you put a little weight on their foot, and it makes them step higher and stretch. And you really want a nice walking, head shaking 4-beat gait to them.
Okay, so this is where I had to watch the videos. Whenever I first heard what you did a couple years ago, I drew out at a hunt with you. I think we were over in Illinois somewhere, and they said that man right there trained some fancy horses. So I started watching these videos. Okay, let's dive into the history of the Tennessee walking horse. Like, where did this originate, and is there a purpose for that gait?
The Tennessee walking horse originally developed from a saddle horse, and when it come back in the early years, it was used to horses. The walking horse is one of the most docile breeds it is, and about anybody can fool with them. And they're that 4-beat walking gait is a real smooth ride. And from that, over the years, it developed into a show horse. And it's kind of like any kind of athlete, it develops into something more like your football players. Mm-hmm. It used to be big, bulky, run over you, knock the taste out of your mouth. Now they're speed and fast and quickness, and same way with the horse, they just over the years animated into this gait. So
yeah,
that's where they originated.
So people are not really using them for any more than the shows and the competitions. It's not like you're not going to go somewhere and see somebody walking down the road on a Tennessee Walker.
Oh, no, sir. No, sir.
Okay, see, I'm wrong.
See, we've got the show horse, but a lot of people that just trail ride and just use their horses for riding horses, that's their preference of because it's so smooth and the horse is so docile. You'll see on any trail ride, you'll see them all over the country. This horse is a horse that you can put a 6-year-old kid to an 80-year-old man on it riding.
Okay.
And they're used for showing. They're used for trail riding. Man, mounted patrol. I've sold horses to the state trooper group in Nashville that use mounted patrols at these concerts and all that. They really want the walking horse for that because they're so gentle minded. They don't get stirred up in a crowd. I mean, they're a real multitask kind of horse.
Yeah.
So you probably see them anywhere doing anything.
That's interesting.
So the ones you sell to like the mounted patrol and stuff like that. Now their walk isn't as pronounced as your show horses, right?
No. It's more called a trail horse.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, the show horse and the trail horse is two different things. The show horse is the padded horse with the pad. We have the little padded on chain, and it shows strictly. You go around the ring and show in the ring and into major shows and that. These others are just rode down the roads, on the trails, around home, anything you want to use them for.
Now, okay,
Tyler,
I'd say Tyler Balcom trains the same horses,
Tyler
right?
Tyler Balcom does the same thing. Tyler is one of the best in the business, especially for his age and come up. His daddy was some kind of horse trainer, and their whole family is real good. Him and Kayla, his sister, growed up in it. Tyler was just like when my boy in there come in from the time he was old enough to sit between his daddy's arms on a horse. That's what he's been doing. Mm-hmm. And, he just like I was, he's grown up into it. Basically, it's all he ever knew. And over the years, he's learned to do it himself. And, he come from a family that's what they do. His sister's probably a better rider. She's better looking than he is anyway.
Which, real quick, shout out to Tyler, and his new baby that just got born. Congratulations. Tyler
come from a family. His mother's father was a horse trainer. Tyler's granddaddy on both sides. His daddy's daddy was a horse trainer. His daddy was a horse trainer. That family has come from generations, and all they ever did. And one of that family there has always been, no matter from his grandfather to his father, plumb down to Tyler and Kayla, has been one of the most dominant crews in the horse industry. I mean, they're great. Not only are they great horse people, they're great folks too, man. I'm telling you, that's a great family right there.
Yeah, Tyler's top notch. I've judged him at a few super stakes with Kane, and like I said, top notch guy.
Yeah, he is. He's one of the best.
Yeah. So, okay, I have a couple more questions before we move off the horses here. What is the reason for where is the origin for the attire that is worn in these shows? Because when I look at Tyler's pictures, I mean, they are decked out to the nines. Like they're going somewhere fancy.
A show, and that's a hard kind of question to ask. I had origin because from the time I started, they've always wore a suit and tie to show in. But it just developed. Everybody in the show, I guess if you want to look like a show horse, you got to look like a showman, I guess.
Yeah.
I really can't answer that because
now where's the picture of you? Where's the picture of you in this hat and suit and tie?
Hold on just a minute.
Oh, I gotta see this.
There's one there back in the younger days.
Hold on. Turn it. All we see is the wall.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, there it is. Oh man. That can't be you.
Shirt. Now, them boys do more of the showing. Now, I'm more of the coat business. I get them up to doing this, and then they take them and finish and train them.
Yeah.
The guy in that picture is way too skinny to be you.
Yeah, that's been many moons ago. But I've got some different ones on the wall in there. But if I carry my phone in there, it's going to die. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Many moon pies ago.
Yeah. Moon pies and chicken thighs.
That's the name of the podcast right there. Moon pies and chicken thighs. Oh my gosh.
You keep coming up with saying like it, we'll be like the Hawk Tuah girl. We'll be famous.
Moon pies and chicken thighs.
Yeah.
Oh,
so okay,
Man.
so we all know that the coonhound world is recently almost what I would say hit its peak. Like there are dogs selling for stupid amount of money, and in the last year or so, it's kind of finding its way down a little bit. But it's nothing for a dog to go $70,000-$80,000.
Yeah, that's right.
In this show horse world, like, what is a top-notch horse? What are they selling for these days?
The highest yearling that I've ever sold myself was 350,000. I've sold them from 10. Now there's some of them that's been 700,000, 750.
Yeah.
It's not uncommon for one to bring 100 to 150,000. They're used to over the years. It was kind of like the dog business, when you can buy one for 3,000 to 5,000. Now that dog's 15.
Yeah.
Them horses used to be 25 to 50. Now they're 150. But your great ones, your above average horses, like some of the ones Tyler has in his barn, it's nothing for them to bring $300,000-$400,000.
Whoo, doggy, man.
There's been there's been a few over the years that's actually brought $1 million.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they said that a standard bred went for $1 million or something last year. And I was like,
they're high.
Whoo.
Them yearlings, their yearlings will bring that through the sales and never been rode.
But the thing about that though is everything to deal with a horse nowadays is 4 times more expensive. You get how much money do you spend on shoeing a horse?
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Shoe bills are high, feeding hay's through the roof. It's our industry right now. It's really tough. It's kind of like we've seen our better days when our horses were higher, and man, there's been times that during our 10 days of our celebration, which is our World Championship Horse Show, I'd sell 20, 25 colts, sell $500,000 worth of horses. Now since I don't want to get political on y'all guys, but since these damn Democrats took it over, it's like everything else. It went down to where our sales are about a quarter of what they've been, bringing about a quarter of what they're worth, and all our expenses go up.
Right.
And we have to deal with a lot of government overreach on our stuff that really, really puts a damper on our business. Mm-hmm. So, about like anything else, it's just the way the ball bounces.
Yeah, man. I heard something actually yesterday, and this, like I said, rabbit holes. These are great. I heard something yesterday that said, and maybe it's just in the state of Indiana, but technically you are supposed to have a CDL to pull a horse trailer. Is that correct? Because it's not considered pleasure; it's considered business.
It's not here.
In Kentucky, it's not either.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
Okay.
If you a semi rig, you'd have to have one, but just pull a truck and trailer, no.
Yeah. I heard that yesterday, and it caught me off guard, and I was like, "Do what?" And they're like, "Yeah, in Indiana, technically, if you're pulling a 40-foot horse trailer, that's a business use, which requires a certain class of CDL." And now I didn't fact check that, but I heard that yesterday.
I don't think it's true.
Yeah, that's not right. It's not down around us anyway.
Yeah. All right. Well, off the horses.
So let's jump into the coon hunting world. And kind of the reason why I'm kind of letting Layne get into the weeds of where he came from and stuff like that is because we're going to tie it all in together on a trip that me and Layne made and how he was able to get so many people together to go on this trip that we went. So let's dive into the coon hunting world. Obviously, I think one of your biggest wins to date was probably the first ever $100,000 hunt held by Pro Sport, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was pretty special for me. I tell you, that was something. Probably something we'll never do again, but it was my biggest win.
So talk about Checkers a little bit, because that's the dog you want it with.
Yeah, Checkers. I got Checkers kind of by accident. A friend of mine in the horse business, Mike Young, owned her, and she had puppies and gotten sick and gotten down. He called me. He said, "Hey, you want?" And she had one of the guys that had her before. I can't remember that guy's name. There's a guy that hunted with Connor Morris and him, son. And they had won Right Smarter Money with her that summer. And Mike's like, "Man, we can't get her healthy. I don't know what to do with her." He said, "You want to do something with her?" And I, "Oh, yeah, bring her up here." Well, the same thing that we say is wrong with 90% of them, thyroid. Yeah. Thyroid had bottomed out.
And it's a real, I mean, people that don't think it's real, it's real. It's real.
And she had gotten that down and gotten a licking and hadn't even been hunted.
Yep.
So she had a double dose, and we got her healthy. And you know, she's a nice dog. She looked tight on the ground, and you put her when she wants to operate, she's as good as anybody's. And when she don't, she's just a dog, you know. But she's a coon treer. She trees a lot of coons. We got some nice pups out of her now around. Actually, we give her to Caden Finn here a while back. I was done with her. Thyroid was where we just couldn't keep it level, and I raised 1 litter of pups off drive line, and no, actually I raised 2 litters. And I was like, man, I don't do the pup thing. So Philip and Caden said they wanted to do it, so we give her to them.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, that's the story with Checkers. Y'all got to excuse me. My beautiful wife's walking in here with me.
Oh, boy. We're about to be in the presence of royalty, ain't we?
Presence of royalty.
So, you know, the Checkers dog, like, let's go back to that hunt. I want to talk a little bit into that. And I know it's been a few years, but you sign up for this hunt, you get there, and you get a win. Like, you're locked in there. You've won your first round there. Walk us through that. Like, what kind of emotions do you have? Are you like, man, I have a chance to win it, or did that feeling not come until later in the hunt?
Man, I don't sound cocky, but I told Greg Maynard I won early, and then when I got, let's see, it's early and late, and I won late, and Maynard judged us, and we got off that tree, and he's got the old video of it. I told him, I said, I'm fixing to win this hunt. I said, I don't know why I'm telling you I'm fixing to win this hunt, and we did. I mean, I tell you, part of the reason was I wasn't supposed to win that first cast, and I looked through it and did. And the second cast I won, it was just by luck too. I don't even think me and oh man, my mind, I can't remember I know as well as I do. Big boy.
Can't help you out here.
We was in there. We was in the heads up casting. I mean, we didn't tree a coon. I had to have a tree at the end to beat him, and everything. It just luck just fell our way. I told Maynard, I said, I won these 2 casts. I'm gonna win this hunt, and it did.
Yep.
It's just the way that. But then she didn't look good at all on either one of them first casts. But on that final cast, man, she put on a clinic.
Yeah,
showed out.
That final cast. Yeah, that final cast, she put on a clinic.
She trees 3, just bam, 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 and has another one at the end, and the rest of them is just look like idiots. You know, they treated coon, they just wallered around, did everything.
Yep.
And she just turned loose. She's popping them coons, you know.
Yeah. So you come off that final tree, and you're like, man, I've just won $100,000, and you're the owner on the dog, right?
When we got off that last tree, I know it's win, but when it got down to them last 3 minutes, and I realized, it dawned on me, they can't beat me. I was calling my wife, man. I was in tears. I was like, hey, honey, we just won $100,000, you know, because I tell you, I don't do this without her, because, man, she stays here and takes care of these kids and backs me. And when I told her, she's like, oh, no, I'm on the phone. I'm watching them, and she's cried, and we're squalling. Everybody's happy. And,
yeah.
You know, it's a highlight of your life that it's unexplainable.
Yeah.
But it's really lifetime achievement there that it's pretty fulfilling.
Because at the time, that was the highest paying hunt ever in history.
Yeah, that was the first one.
And, like that's just your name's forever etched in the history books. And to be an owner handler on the dog is something special too.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a pretty good deal.
Yeah, you're not going to get very many owner handlers. What's the one that's got the lightning dog down in Mississippi? He won the PKC one.
The PKC 100,000 down there in.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I can't think his.
He's an owner. He's an owner handler.
Yes.
But other than that, I mean, there ain't many.
And that guy actually trained that dog from a pup.
Yes, he did.
Trained him, started him, and won 100,000. And didn't he get in the finals of the other one?
Yes. He won 140,000 in 2 hunts.
Yeah, right there. Never go nowhere else.
Hey, that's not bad. If I could walk out my back door and win 140K, sign me up.
Yeah. A lot of these hunts, I tell people all the time, and Basham, I'm sure you'll agree with this. You got to have a really good dog. You do. But sometimes it don't matter how good your dog is or how good of a handler he is or how good you know your stuff. If you don't have that luck, you got to have that horseshoe around your neck to win or things have got to go your way. So you got to have more luck than you do anything.
I got to find my horseshoe because, good Lord, if you can lose it, ask Bryce. I have lost in more ways than you could even imagine.
Let me tell you the luckiest. Why I tell you about the horseshoe. I won a truck hunt. I won one of the truck hunts down there with Fireproof Clone. She dominates the first 2 rounds. We go back out on the finals. I'm on the leash for an hour. She gets treed and has a coon. The rest of them, they all tree and have a coon, and I tree her. I'm struck for 100. I'm told 200 plus. The rest of them, I'm on the leash lock for an hour with Stallard's dog. He goes back to a tree. I forget the others. I can't remember names, but I'm on the leash for an hour, and all dogs are treated. They never tree another coon. And you win a truck like that. That's how luck's got to be. You got to have it.
So wild. That's so wild to think about.
I learned that about. I hate leash lock.
Instead, I get all the bad luck, and Bryce draws the short end of a straw.
A card. It was a card. I drew the short card.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah, that's what it was. It's just. I mean, I'm telling you, I've been in a late round of super stakes and dog get treed on an island, and there's no way they can beat me, and I get scratched. I've had a guy pull my dog off a tree and put it in a shed because it was treed behind his house. I mean, you name it, I've had it, and it's just. Whew.
I know the feeling here, late. I hate that feeling where you're treated at the end. If you got a coon, you win. Seems like I don't ever have that coon.
Yeah. So what have you been hunting recently?
I've got a female that we bought from Maynard then back last year, right before the World Hunt, called Juliet, and we've carried that pro sport race and led it all year. I don't know. I've won 25,000-30,000 with her, in pro sport, and we've been hunting her. And then we bought a young dog off Rackham Willie here. I don't know, a month or so ago. That's if don't nothing happen to him, I think he's going to be a real hound to deal with.
Which one's that one?
He's off Rackham Willie. He's a buddy of mine here, Troy Frame, raised him here and started him. We bought it from him. His name's Whack.
Which one did I hunt with you up at the Muddy? What dog did you hunt at the Muddy?
That was the white dog. Remember? That was him, Whack, young dog. He just
was it Whack?
Oh, yeah, it's Whack.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's him.
So I've noticed a little something here. You said earlier that right now you're in the colt breaking business. So you're dealing with the colts, the young males, but in the dog world, you're usually packing a female. What drives you either way there?
Now, colts, that's my fillies or studs. We do both on the horse business.
Okay.
But I've always had good luck with females. I've just, my better hounds I've always had been a female. I like them better. I think they're smarter. I don't know. It's just been the way it's run for me. I've had good luck with them.
Yeah, because you talk to most people and like most of them like either a female guy or a male guy. Not very many people go back and forth between the two of them. So it's always
I've been
interesting.
a female guy for years. Matter of fact, but this is the first male dog I've really had that I'm gonna push in a long time. And I mean, I've had a few for Bob, that he's bought over the years. Me and Daryl swapped around or something. But as far as just pushing him, I'm gonna have a female on my lead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Well, Basham, why don't we dive into this trip you guys just went into? Because this was something special, and this shows,
Yeah, it was.
It's not just the coon hunters. There's a lot of groups of people that were helping out in some way, shape, or form here. But this was really nice to see a bunch of coon hunters get together and do something. So I'm going to stay out of this one because this was y'all's trip, and you got the juicy information.
Yeah, so I just happened to be online one day and seen a Facebook video that Layne had posted, and I'll kind of let Layne go into how it all came about. But like I said before, guys, the reason why I kind of wanted to go over everything is because, with Layne kind of with all the connections that he has in the horse work business, and then being where he's from and being a staple in his community, and then in the coon hunting world, Layne was able to pull strings and pull people from all different walks of life to really go do something that was a bit humbling, a blessing. It was something a little different. So Layne, I'll let you take it away and kind of tell the listeners kind of what happened, and we'll jump into it.
It started here at home. I told my wife one night, I said, man, I just feel like I want to help out and do something. There were some other folks from our walk of life. There was a lot of walking horse people. We helped them that night. They started getting goods and stuff together, and they was carrying horse feed and non-perishable items and supplies up there.
Now this was for the hurricane victims of Helene,
yes.
Right? Okay.
And I really didn't. I didn't get involved in it right away. I told my wife, I said, I'm going to wait till later and then I'll try to get involved in something. Well, that night, a bunch of our friends in the horse business, they was loading stuff up, and Clay Sanderson, a good friend of mine, called me and said, hey, man, we need an extra trailer and a hand. Can you come out? I said, yeah, I'll be right there. So we loaded everything up, and they headed out, and they carried like 3 trailers. It's been a lot of trailers go from the horse business. Well, I come home that night, and I told my wife, I said, I feel guilty. I said, I feel like I need to do something to try to help somebody. I said, it's been on my mind. And she says, well, whatever you want to do, we'll tell me. I said, I don't know. So I walked out of the house that morning, and I thought, all right, here we go. I said, the horse industry's done all this. I said, I'm going to call on my coon hunting buddies to see what we can stir up. And I put my video on there. And man, it just flew. And I mean, you couldn't imagine, but I want to tell you a little bit of the story before we get into how it did grow. So I put that first video on Facebook, what I was planning on doing, getting together, and I called on the coon hunters. Well, Basham was one of the first to call, Patrick Stewart called, Jackson Marlowe called. Man, we want to do this. We want to do this. I said, okay. I didn't have any other coon hunters call about it right then. So that next morning, I got 2 or 3 people in the horse business called me. We want to send you stuff over. So we get in there, and my wife actually put the pictures on Facebook. We didn't have. I could have carried most items up there in the back seat of my truck we had. And we was there in the barn that morning, and my wife and my daughter comes in there, and I said, hey, y'all come here a minute. And she, of course, my wife, you know how you wife. What do you want? I said, no, come here. I said, y'all pray with me for just a minute. I said, I really want to do this, but it ain't suiting me. So we prayed, and y'all, I promise you, I'm not exaggerating. I'm telling you just like this. Within an hour, our prayer to the good Lord, all 3 of us joined hands in there in the cross tie. And I told in my prayer, I said, Lord, I want to be like the basket with the bread and the fishes. I said, as long as I can dip my hand in and it comes, I'll keep carrying it. 30 minutes after that prayer, I can't remember who called first. People started calling coon hunting buddies, horse people. Next thing I know, my barn's full of supplies, and it just keeps coming and keeps coming. So the next morning, that was on Saturday. By Saturday afternoon, we had more stuff than we knew what to do with. And the whole project, when it started, was that I wanted to go cook and serve people hot meals. I had no plans to carry none of the stuff with us that we carried. I just wanted to go cook and serve hot meals. Well, I called my cousin Ryan Purtle. I told him what I wanted to do. He said, "Yes, sir, we'll go." I said, I said, "It's going to be big." I said, "We already getting a lot of stuff." He said, "We're going to do it." Jacob Massey, Cook's Barbecue. Jacob, I said, "You go?" "Yep, we're going to go." I asked Ethan Graves and Josh Scruggs, "Hey, let's do this." Every one of them, "Yeah, let's go." So next thing we know, we're having to call people in. We could leave with 2 tractor trailers, 2 refrigerated trucks. How many trucks and trailers did we have with us, Basham?
I think there was eight or 9 total.
We had 2 ladies that nobody had ever met.
Yep.
Call us and say, "Hey, can we come help?" They come here to the barn on Sunday and Monday, pack boxes. And my wife, Amy Campbell, we had so many people. I bet we had 50 or 60 people in here, mostly women, by the way. And they went through every piece of clothing, every box. They sorted out. They did everything. We packed them trailers full. Well, we were sitting there thinking, I don't know if we're going to have enough food to do what we're going to do. Well, next thing I know, Witt's Barbecue calls, Tyson Chicken calls. I don't know if, Steve, if you realize this, but when we got home, me and Ryan and Jacob got to figuring, we provided about 4,000 meals.
Oh my goodness, that is awesome.
And let me tell you, when we went, and Steve can tell you, them refrigerator trucks was packed.
Yep.
When we went, we had around 600 butts, about 400 of them prepackaged. Sides, we had 3,000 chicken quarters.
Yep.
And this is funny to tell you about this, but on Thursday morning, the guys on the grills, on the cookers, they quit. I said, "We're done. We're going home." And we loaded up the rest of Basham there. We loaded up the rest of the food and carried it and give it to the churches and other people. But it wasn't much left. I mean, it really wasn't enough to set up and cook all day.
Yeah, no, we rode up on Tuesday, and we got inside that high school and got set up, and from that point we really didn't have a liaison, to really. We were kind of outside of the affected area, and so me and Layne both was like, "Man, this just ain't what we envisioned. This ain't what we wanted to help some people." So, me being me, I just started going out, and I went down. We delivered some stuff down to the Cowboy Church right there in Greenville. I started making some contacts, started getting numbers to people out in the community. And then next thing I know, I'm starting to make contacts with different people. And we got orders coming in for 400 meals, 500 meals, 300 meals. And then for the next 2 days, we set up camp right there in Greenville at the South Green High School. And, all we did, we had 2 ladies, Ashley and what was the other the lady at Leslie, Ashley and Leslie. Yep. So they were actually teachers at the high school, and man, they came out and helped us tremendously. And like I said, what we ended up doing was just we'd put a team together and we'd run over to Jonesboro. We put another team together and we run to Black Mountain. Then we'd reconvene and we'd send 2 or 3 trucks, to Burnsville, and then we'd send 2 or 3 trucks to Irwin, Tennessee, and we just did that for a couple of days.
We got up there and we pulled in. We almost left there. Well, when we started on this, of course, you don't never know what's going to happen till you get there. We're shooting from the hip, So we pull in and they want to set up this school. And I'm like, man, this ain't what we want. We envisioned pulling up somewhere where it looked like a bomb had went off and you're going to help this family and that family. And when we got there, we realized that ain't the way it works.
That's not the way it's working down there.
No way you can get enough to it. And me and Basham sitting there talking, and we got other people with us. And Steve's like, man, how are we going to do this? I said, I'll tell you what. He said, what about if we do this? I said, take it, man. Take it and run with it. You go do that. I'm going to get the food going, the grills. We're gonna get everybody in where we're going to go. And, man, Steve just took control. Next thing I know, he was gone. He comes back like, we got to send here such and such. And we wasn't there but a day and a half. We was prepared to stay a week. And all the food, everything we had was gone. I mean, we just sent so many places. But we couldn't have done it without all the help we had, man. We had such good people there. I mean, it really was amazing.
You know,
it was some kind of blessing, I tell you.
That's something that I was curious, like how that works. You know, when you have a situation arise like this in a natural disaster, you've got so many people that want to help, and you've got people coming from all walks of life, from every corner of the compass that are going there. And it's like, I was curious how that works. Like when you show up, it's like, okay, is there somebody directing you? Like, okay, we need you to go here, or like, I just didn't know how that worked whenever people got down there.
So the biggest thing with that, and people that are listening to this podcast come Friday, don't just load up trailers and send them down there. They are overloaded.
I've told everybody, wait a month.
Yes.
Let them go through what you got. We even sent a truck to Mountain City, and somebody called and told us they needed stuff, and we sent the truck up there, and our driver had to turn around and bring it back. They wouldn't even take it.
Yep.
They are.
So I haven't talked to Layne about this.
They don't need hot meals, and hands-on is what they need.
Yep. So I haven't even talked to Layne since, but I ended up staying until Saturday. I went up to Burnsville, and I stayed until Saturday. I stayed at the fire department right there. And just going out, I hooked up with another Marine, and we went out and cut trees and just kind of helped families because that area was hit pretty hard. And so the biggest thing is the way it works, Bryce, is people think that let's just throw out a couple names. Shenandoah and Chimney Rock. People think, oh, well, that's a hard hit area. I'm just going to run up there and they're going to use my help. That's not how it works. Mm-hmm. So Black Mountain was the hub. It's kind of like a war zone. So, you get your forward operating bases, which is, your small little bitty fire departments, your volunteer fire departments, and they're running operations out of there. There's not a lot of places for supplies. So a place like Greenville, who is like an hour and a half, 2 hours from the affected area, is a perfect place because they can hold supplies. And as these small little communities need things, they can send requests back to these bigger logistical areas who then can send those supplies in. Because the problem that you have is you have every redneck in the world come in with their souped up side by side and razors, thinking that it's fun to run up and down these mountains and they're going to get to, be Mr. Hero. And that's not how it works. That's not what these people need. They need people and they kind of got to vet people, because you got to think people's houses were swept away. Mm-hmm. So imagine if your house was swept away right now, what would you be out there looking for?
All your
you'd be out there looking for you'd be out there looking for memorabilia from your house, right?
Yeah, all your valuables.
So you don't need somebody from Nevada coming up there helping you clean up, picking stuff up, putting it in their pockets. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So a lot of the locals, people think that it's the government or FEMA or whatever keeping people out. It's more of your locals. Locals are keeping people out.
Yeah, everywhere you go, you'd see people just out in the fields and the rubble walking and looking and getting their stuff. And sometimes we can do too much and get in the way.
Yes.
But anywhere you went there, every fire department, every civic center, every church was packed. I mean, running over with supplies. Packed. They just couldn't get no more person.
Couldn't take no more.
I mean, they couldn't take it. And I talked to a sheriff up there, on the phone one day. We was going to go to but on the way up there, I talked to I'd have to look back on my phone. But he told me, I asked him about the FEMA deal, where FEMA cutting people out. He said, man, that's not true at all. And nowhere we went did I see any problems with that stuff. But he said, what people don't realize is reason FEMA and places won't let you in somewhere is they're still finding bodies. They're still finding stuff wrong. And it's not they don't you in there, but they don't you in there tearing up the sites. They got people with them dogs, looking for people, and they're crawling through the rubble. And they don't need extra people in there on top of what they're doing. So you hear a lot of stories that I'm sure are true, but you hear a lot that's not.
Yeah. And you want to really help. You got to go there with the mind of it's not going to be glorious. Like, it's kind of what I was talking to the fire department about probably like Friday or Saturday was, I'm not going to say the whole rescue phase is over, but it is. I mean, they're still going to find people, but the whole rescue idea of running in and rescuing someone that is losing their life or that is down, whatever, that's over. Now it's the hardest part. Now they're still in shock. So if you really want to help, you go there with, some gloves, some work boots.
Chainsaw. And how you skid steer up there, that's how you help.
You want to, not only that, but you got to have an open mind and you got to be a go-getter because you're not just going to pull in and go, all right, guys, where do you need me? And someone's going to just guide you. You got to drive down the road and you got to see, and it's not going to be a glorious job. It's not going to be like, oh, I saved this person's house. Like I think Friday we spent almost all day just cutting trees up in somebody's backyard, the same as trees fell down in my yard during a storm, and you're thinking, well, these people really, Friday afternoon, there was this literally mansion up on the hill, and he had probably 15, 20 trees over his freaking driveway. And we got in there and cut them up. And I had one of the guys go, well, why'd you help him? He's got plenty of resources to be able to help themselves. That's not the point. We went in there. He's got all these trees over his driveway, and we cut them up and got him out of his way. Now obviously it's up to them because at the time we just riding around and side by sides and stuff like that. Like we don't have the means to. But if you've got a dump truck, if you've got a dump trailer, hey, and you want to help, there's plenty of work there. There's gonna be work there forever. You just got to be willing to go find it and be willing to do whatever it takes. I mean, we created Saturday morning, we created a chain from a woman's basement. And for 2.5 hours, we just bucketed out mud out of her basement, So you just got to be willing to go up there and do whatever it takes to be able to help whatever they need.
Yeah, I was talking to Keith and Andy about it. They live right there in Lake Lure, my brother and sister-in-law. And they were just the stories they were telling me about how when that storm come through, like it was just devastating. So they were looking out their windows and the trees all on the whole side of their mountain was just snapping like toothpicks. And they said the next day it took them like 11 hours to clear out their driveway just so they could get to a road. They lived up on a big mountain.
You can't imagine, you drive down them roads there and, it's oak timber that all three of us together couldn't reach around. And it's
snapped in half.
It looks like the ground. And where we went to Jonesboro, they got a lot of tomato farms and hay field stuff down there. And where that flood come through, it just peels the topsoil up. I mean, there's no vegetation. It just looks like sifted. It looks like a rock.
It's all sand. It looks like a beach now.
Yeah,
literally.
It's just like gravel sandbar all the way across. And I don't know that ever comes back.
So I got to go to Burnsville. And I think it was Thursday afternoon or Friday morning. I met up with a guy and we went out to his farm, and he took us down by the river, and he showed me. He was like, "This used to be 150-acre pasture." He said I had about 50 head of cattle and I had about 40 head of horses. Guess what? There wasn't a blade of grass. It looked like the freaking river. The bottom of a river, of a creek bank. Like it was, I bet you every bit 12, 14, 18, maybe even deeper of rock. I mean, there wasn't a blade of grass in the whole field. The whole field was rock and sand. And so he's like, I don't even know what I'm going to do because I'll never get this rock and sand out to where grass will grow back here again.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah, it ruined a lot of places. The farmers that live there now in their day, you'll never see it back like it was.
Right.
No.
I mean, it's unreal the damage it was.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, boys, I want to say thank you for going down there. Legitimately, I just want to say thank you from the rest of the coon hunters, from those people who are down there. It takes people like you and everybody else that went down there and helped. So let's switch this topic. Let's go to something a little more positive. Layne, why don't we talk about this hunt you're getting ready to put on?
All right, man. I'm proud of this one, guys. I come up with an idea. Do
you have the list?
I do. I've got the list.
All right. So this is good. Hey, don't put this list out on Facebook. They're going to have to find this list out through our podcast.
I ain't going to put it out yet. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell Maynard we was getting together about putting an advertisement out about this hunt. And I'll tell him to wait till after y'all announce it.
Okay.
But anyway, I was sitting around bored one night, and I thought, man, I got a pretty good bitch. I said, and I tell you, I kind of got it from these guys put this elite hunts on. You know, there's top 10 or 12 that's elite hunters and handlers. And I'm like, man,
I'm not on that list.
Me neither. I think I do pretty good. I'm not elite. Maybe me and you just have to go hunt one-on-one and put it on the podcast. Wait on Bryce.
Now go ahead.
All right. So anyway, I called Maynard and Scott Engel. I said, I got an idea. I said, I want to call it Battle of the Bitches. Of course, we can't call it that when we announce it on Facebook, I don't guess.
Yeah,
but I said, what if we have 16 of the best females across the country that's winning hunts? And I said, requirement's going to be, you got to at least be a gold champion, or you've got to win over 10,000 in pro sport.
Yeah.
And find 16. So then we get to thinking, man, it's hard to do it with just 16. Yeah. So we come up with 24. We're going to have a 24 dog hunt. Now, this is what I was telling you about hunting in Tennessee this time of year, because we got some flat and creek bone. But in Tennessee in November, you'll find out what kind of hounds you got. So we're doing it November 22nd and 23rd, Estill Springs, Tennessee. 24 dogs, all females.
Have these dogs already been invited and accepted?
Already been invited. Now, everybody I talked to is like, yeah, we want to be a part of this. We're going to do this pretty neat deal. Everybody, Scott Engel got tore up over it, you know. And Ryan Croson, he's like, hell yeah, I'm in. I'll be there for that. So anyway, top 24. You want me to tell you these 24?
All right, hold up, Bryce. Hit the drum roll.
Dum dum.
You actually got the button, bud.
I don't know which one it is. Let's try it. That wasn't it.
No, try another one.
Nope.
We can't hear it on our end. So go ahead. All right, go ahead. Hit it one more time. Go ahead, Layne.
All right. First on the list.
First number uno
is Layne Leverette and Juliet.
Oh, go figure.
All right, then we got Zach Reese and Venus.
Oh, yes, Venus.
Greg Maynard's got 2, Powder and Molly.
Powder.
John Strickland's got 2, Ann and Betty.
Okay.
All right, we got
Hold up for 1 second. They got Powder back?
Yeah, they got Powder back.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Matter of fact, they got puppies off of her for
That
sale.
is correct. That is correct.
All right, then we got Strickland's got 2, Ann and Betty. Now, and there's some guys that's got multiple jilts that fit the criteria. So whichever one they decide to hunt, you know. And I'm sure somebody will have something come in heat. We'll have to find another one or 2. But Scott Engel's got Buckle Bunny.
Yep.
Now, here's one we could not leave out. Casey Maggard and Lacey.
No, you cannot.
All right. Ashley Hopkins has got Lou or the other female they got. Billy Bell. They got Lift Kit.
Scarlet. Scarlet. Yep.
Zach Vault with Star.
Star.
Clifford Rivers with Axe. Doug
Yep.
Hebner's got 2. Hooker and Ruby.
Yep.
All right. Sean Burden with Screamer. Can't leave Screamer out.
You can't leave Screamer out. Good Lord, you
I
can't.
like Screamer.
Yep. She's a coon dog.
James Ashley's got the Tootsie female.
Nice female.
Tony Smith's got the English female Thrill.
Yep.
Ryan Croson's got Liz.
Or Spice.
Or Spice, whichever one they decide. Zach McBee, Bonnie.
Bonnie's nice.
Doug Douglas has got Tears. He's got 2 or 3 that fits that criteria, so
Yeah,
but
he
he
does.
can probably hunt Tears. And then Cole Allen with the Jennings female. That's wearing them out west, and stuff. And
I'll tell you one to put on the side. If somebody calls and can't get one, is Bailey, Gabe Seacrest.
yeah, Bailey.
Yep, Bailey.
Also the Cookie female, the Davenport.
Yeah, you can't leave her out either.
Oh, she's on there. So that's my 24. And of course, if somebody don't, can't comes in heat or something, we'll be searching for something else. But boys, that's a pretty good list of hounds right there.
That is a
Heck
good
yeah.
one. The one dog there that stands out to me that I didn't hear, and maybe you said it and I missed it, was the Scarlet dog, Scarlet Thread that Billy Bell won Super Stakes with.
No, he mentioned him. He said Billy Bell.
Okay,
Billy Bell's got a few different ones. He's got Lift Kit or Scarlet.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. I must have missed it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, she'll be tough. But, I was doing this list and I got to 16. I said, oh, no, I forgot Screamer. I said, you can't have a hunt without Screamer.
Yeah.
She's one of the best alive,
Yeah.
But that's a pretty good list.
That's awesome.
And my goal is we're going to do this through Pro Sport.
So this will be a sanctioned event.
It'll be a sanctioned event through
Okay.
Pro Sport. First to pay around, we've tweaked the numbers a little bit, but 12,000, 6,000, and 3,000.
What's the entry fee?
$1,000.
That's nice. That's not bad.
So
That's not bad.
24 dogs, Battle of the Bitches, and then my goal is when I get done with this one to do one for the male dogs.
That one's going to be hard.
Yes, I'll have to have some help on that.
That one to narrow. I mean, because if you just sit here and go off the top of your head, you're going to go way over 24.
Yeah.
You're going to go way. I mean, because you could go all the way back. I mean,
And of course, we're going to catch some slacker. Well, why didn't you invite mine? I didn't. You can't get them all. But to me, I 24 of the toppings, it comes to mind right there.
Right.
yeah, the male dogs is going to be even harder.
We might have to bump him up to platinum champion for the criteria on that one.
That's a good idea.
I mean,
Just
Bump the criteria up.
Yeah, because the male dogs is going to be. You just throw in Dustin and Ward, and hell, both of them's got 2 or 3 that they could hunt.
Yeah, see, I invited Ward's JoJo female to this, but she'll be having puppies, be with puppies that time. So he said, I can't go. But I want to do one for the males, and I'm really going to need some input from some guys. I mean, we want to pick 20. You can't get them all, but 24 studs,
Yeah, here you go. Here's an idea for you, Layne. Here's an idea for you. Pick in your head. Pick 40. Right? And then on Facebook, you can create a poll and have everybody vote for the top 24. Whoever those top 24 is. Whoever that top 24 is.
Then it's the people's choice. What do people want to see?
Do what?
I said, then it's the people's choice. Like, what do they want to see? Who are they going to vote in there?
Yeah, because I mean, you could go all the way down the list to. You've got dogs that we've had on here. You got Trigger, with Chad Spradlin.
You might as well stop. You ain't going to get them all.
Do what?
I said, you might as well stop naming them. You ain't going to get them all.
No. I'm just saying dogs that aren't as say popular. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But have made their mark. You can even talk about the Lightning dog that we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could.
something I wanted to do along the way too is try to find some of the dogs from other breeds, so it's not just all Walker dogs, that, and give
now, that's going to be a hard
that's
one.
going to be a tough one to do, and it was real hard doing. I got the English dog, and Kai Roberts.
Hunting that little red bone?
The red dog.
I invited the red dog. He said, he said I might hunt this other. What was her name? Let me find
Nova
Kyle here.
He's been hunting that Nova bitch.
Nova.
Yep. The one Adam Lowry.
Yeah.
Had. Yep.
But the male dogs, I want to try to do that.
That one's going to be hard.
That's
like I said, I think you put, say, 50. You're going to have to put a cap on it because you could go down a rabbit hole. So,
yeah, just, say put 40 dogs, like you say, and have a pole, or just rear back and find 24 that you really think's the top of it. And and I'm not after a dog that's meets the criteria that hadn't been hunted in hunts in 3, 4, 5 years. I want what's winning today.
Right.
Yeah.
What's winning today? What we're going to drive with today? I want the best.
Dogs like Z wouldn't be there just because he kind of in the last year he's not.
Well, you take like Wheat's got out and Jack.
Yeah.
You'd have Duel and Cowboy there. They're
Cowboy. There's a lot of outstanding dogs. Bobby Burden's dog. Hell, he's
9
and legs. He got 2 or 3 of them. Of course, Bobby and 9, wherever you put him, is going to be a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to do that one, and then I got a third hunt I want to do after first of the year, and this one y'all gonna get a kick out of it. 24 top handlers.
Okay, what are they bringing?
Best of the best hunters. I had an idea, but would nobody ever agree to this? I thought about 24 handlers. You bring the dog of your choice, but we put the dogs all in a pot. And each handler draw for what you hunt.
Ooh,
Would that not be? I don't think nobody would agree to that.
No, nobody would, because and Bryce will attest to this. I've got a dog down here in my kennel that Bryce tries to hunt him, and Bryce can hunt him, but he gets bit every time he hunts him.
I'm 3 for 3.
But 24 top handlers and put it on, that'd be a criteria. You got to win over $100,000 in two associations.
Right.
Yep.
So
you're gonna have Nikki Hale, you're gonna have Jeff Rickliffs. I mean, those are 2 you can't leave out. You know what I mean?
Bobby Burton, John Strickland, Dustin Weed, Michael Ward.
Yeah.
Man, it's a slew of them.
Man, yeah.
So for the listeners, guys, let's go over it one more time. When is this hunt going to be?
The female hunt.
It's November 22nd and 23rd in Estill Springs, Tennessee.
So mark it on your calendars, guys. November 22nd and 23rd, we are going to have the Battle of the Females. We'll keep the PGs here. The Battle of the Females. It is going to be hosted by Pro Sport and Layne Leverette. Mr. Layne, are you going to get the Coonhound Calcutta involved in this?
If you want to do it, we will.
Man, hold on. I talked to Wes Hamilton about that. He said that they're trying to fire that back up. They had some technical difficulties on their end, and there was some shakeups there. So Coonhound Calcutta is not. They're not even running right now. But
well, why don't we do it ourselves?
They're not. Yeah, we could. We could
do it ourselves.
What about you guys coming down for that hunt and setting up and interview folks and talk people for your podcast?
I don't know, Bryce.
That's literally right before Thanksgiving. I got family in. Thanksgiving is like that day. The next day, the 24th.
No, not
Isn't
this
it?
year, I don't think. No, not this year. No.
It's the Friday and Saturday before Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's on Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
Thanksgiving is the 28th this year.
You're right, 22nd, 23rd. Hey, we might just have to make a Simper Dogging podcast trip down there then. I'll put it in my calendar right now.
Bryce, one thing you got to know about Bryce can't give you a definite answer. He's got to go through the proper channels and submit his request for leave of absence from the family farm. and he's got to wait for it to get to the commanding officer to get signed off on.
Well,
So
let me
you're
tell
gonna
you, now on Friday night, we're going to feed everybody. We're going to have a good steak supper. We're going to feed everybody dinner. We're going to feed steaks for everybody and really have a good turnout and cooking. And then, Saturday night we'll have a final three, and I want to do it up really good. So
Yeah.
if you guys want to come down and do it, we'd be glad to have you.
Yeah,
So you're gonna hunt 2 rounds Friday and 1 round Saturday.
Round Saturday.
Okay.
awesome. Yeah, let me run it past the commander in chief and see what she says.
Yeah, we can go down there and do the final 3 interview and all that.
Heck yeah. We can have a good time.
All right, Mr. Bryce Matthews. Anything else?
Buddy, I think I'm good. I really just want to say thank you to Layne for taking the time out of his busy schedule to sit down here with us. And thank you to both of you all again for going down there and doing what you did, helping out where you could. It's nice to have buddies who, represent us and our sport well. So thank you very much.
Well, man, I appreciate y'all having me. I really do. It's an honor to do it. I'm gonna give you one food for thought before we leave.
Moon pies and chicken thighs.
That's one. Go vote. Go vote. It's the only way
sir.
we save our sport. It's the only way we save our lives as we know it. Go vote. Everybody needs to go vote. Go Trump. That's my final.
That'll work.
That'll work.
Again.
That'll work. Hey, I appreciate it, Layne. It's been a privilege to, me and you we've hunted against each other, but I think this trip here really kind of brought us together as friends, as family in the coon hunting world. And definitely, there isn't anything I wouldn't do for you, brother.
Well, I appreciate y'all too. Maybe
give us a holler.
I can come up and hunt with y'all a night or two or something. But
Yes, sir.
We can make it happen.
Anyway, thank you. Enjoyed it.
All right, guys.
Yes, sir.
Well, we are going to sign off on here. Once again, thanks to Layne Leverette. Always a pleasure to have the ever so ugly Mr. Stephen Basham join me on the other end of the mic. Couldn't do it without you, buddy. Appreciate you setting these people up for us. If you guys are going to be interested in watching that hunt, I'm sure Pro Sport will televise that female hunt. So that will be on their Pro Sport Facebook page. I'm sure of it. Y'all make sure you stay tuned for the 22nd, 23rd of November. Other than that, buddy, I think I'm good to go. You good?
Moon pies and chicken thighs.
There we go.
Chicken thighs, boys. Thank y'all.
See you guys.
Later.